We are tonight's entertainment.
Do you want to play rough? Okay. Uno. Say hello to my little friend!
Hey everyone, welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Che Arena. Celebrities can get away with a lot, and usually the public is willing to forgive them for what they did because of their status. I wanted to find out what some of your favorite stars have on their permanent records, and that's why I'm bringing you today's list of top 10 famous celebrities that turned out to be criminals. And when we get through this list, you're gonna wonder if this is the stuff we know, what is going on behind the scenes. As always, I would love it if you liked, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Also, stick around for the whole list because the top 3 are a mix of crimes that I bet you guys didn't know at all about, and some that are super juicy about celebrities that you love. And if you guys need more Most Amazing Top 10 content, hit us up on Instagram and Facebook. It's a great way to get to know myself and the other hosts a little bit better. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. At number 10, we have Mark Wahlberg. I remember when I first heard about this, I was like, no way, Marky Mark? I know he has a little bit of a bad boy image, but I didn't think it was real. I thought Mark Wahlberg's tough guy thing was like professional wrestling, but it turns out I was very wrong. When Mark Wahlberg was 14 years old, he was arrested for violating the civil rights of citizens. He chased down 3 young black men and yelled racial slurs at them. The case was opened and closed within a month. 2 years after this first incident, he was arrested for attempted murder. Holy crap, that escalated quickly. That's why he seems so ruthless on screen. He's had a lot of practicing. Mark Wahlberg assaulted 2 Vietnamese men in the same day. He beat one of them so severely that he was blind in one eye. He did this all while yelling racial slurs at the men. The charges were dropped down from attempted murder and he served 45 days in jail. Later in his life, he pleaded a pardon and it was granted. His character in The Departed is so much more believable now. At number 9, we have Suge Knight. If there's anyone in the world you do not want to piss off, it's Suge Knight. The dude is a gangster. And I don't mean gangster because he's like got swag or he drives a dope car. No, this dude will kill you. I mean, his name is Suge Knight. He sounds like a supervillain. He was a record producer who had involvement with some of the biggest artists in the early rap game. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Puff Daddy all had ties to Suge Knight. It's even rumored that he was involved in the murders of Biggie and Tupac. He might have had both of them killed. He would physically assault artists so they would give him publishing rights to their songs. Apparently, he held Vanilla Ice off a balcony by his ankles so he'd sign over the rights to the song Ice Ice Baby. This guy is like the Black Kingpin. Like, where's Spider-Man? We need someone to stop this dude. And it's definitely not gonna be me. Well, he's currently in prison because of a 2015 hit and run which killed 1 person. Suge Knight purposely ran over 2 former employees because they had a disagreement. This dude is running over people because of disagreements. He'll turn you into roadkill over a disagreement. At number 8, we have Jay-Z. Jay-Z seems kinda cute now. He's in a bunch of memes looking all nice. Like there's those pictures of him riding a jet ski and doesn't really look like he knows what he's doing. And you're like, ah, silly Jay-Z, what's a guy like you doing on a jet ski? But he's not messing around. He came up in the early rap game, and remember, Suge Knight was there. Right off the bat, Jay-Z admitted to selling crack. Studio time can be expensive, so you need to make money somehow. Some people pick up extra babysitting shifts, and other people start selling crack. Tomato, tomato. Even if you can look past selling crack because you gotta make money somehow, he also stabbed a record producer in the stomach. Lance Riviera got a knife right in his gut because Jay-Z thought he was giving out bootleg copies of his album. I mean, I would probably just fire him, but that's probably why I'm me and Jay-Z is a millionaire. He was charged with attempted murder, but he got it brought down to a misdemeanor and probation. At number 7, we have Phil Spector. If you guys are like me, you're probably like, who? I've never heard of this guy before doing research for this list, but after hearing about what he has done for music and his crimes, I thought he was a perfect fit for this list. Phil Spector was a music producer and one of the best. He's thought to have revolutionized pop music and he worked with some greats like the Beatles. That alone is something to brag about. But he was apparently a very violent person. He would abuse the people he was working with as well as the people he was in relationships with. And one night he met actress Lana Clarkson. The two went back to his home and one thing led to another and Lana ended up with a bullet hole in her head. Phil Spector is now serving life in jail. At number 6, we have Matthew Brodrick. I've always thought that this accident is what led Matthew Brodrick to leaving the acting world. Either that or it was the 1998 Godzilla movie. I'm not sure which one was more traumatic. This happened when a young Matthew Brodrick and his wife were driving around in Ireland. For some reason, I'm not sure if it was drugs, alcohol, or just a wandering mind, Matthew started driving in the oncoming lane and then crashed into a car head on. This collision killed a mother and daughter almost instantly, and Matthew served hard time in jail. Just kidding, he didn't go to jail at all. He only had to pay a fine of $175 for reckless driving. Obviously, Matthew Brodrick didn't mean to kill these people, but it's very much a slap on the wrist for what happened to this family. At number 5 we have Oscar Pistorius, the Blade Runner. I don't know if you guys remember this guy, but he was the fastest man without legs. The world famous South African runner had both his legs amputated below the knee and was still fast as hell thanks to some super cool carbon fiber sprinting blades. He took the world by storm and everyone fell in love with the heartfelt story of a man with no legs working his way to the top and almost about to compete in the Olympics, but then he shot and killed his girlfriend, so no one liked him anymore. He shot her through a bathroom door and he claims that he thought it was an intruder, which is believable. He's a man with no legs. If he hears some rustling on the other side of a door, then it would be very frightening. He can't really move very fast. But the neighbors heard him and his girlfriend arguing earlier that night and then heard a woman's screams when the 4 gunshots were fired. Now he's serving a 6-year sentence for murder. At number 4 we have Shelly MALIL. You know, I wondered what happened to this guy. If you don't know who I'm talking about, then you might recognize him from this scene.
So, tell me, Montel, why weren't we invited to the party? What are we, Al-Qaeda?
This dude was so funny, and I always thought it was weird that we never saw him in a movie after this. Well, it could be because he brutally attacked his girlfriend. Shelly MALIL stabbed his girlfriend 20 times, severing her arteries, puncturing one of her lungs, and damaging her internal organs, all because he saw her having a glass of wine with another man. The craziest part about this story is she lived and testified against him in court. It was a very open and shut case, with MALIL asking the judge to put him in prison for his crimes. He's still currently in jail, and his girlfriend made a full recovery and hopefully is dating someone a lot better. At number 3 we have Jared FOGEL. Jared was the Subway guy, the guy who claimed to have lost 200 pounds from eating Subway sandwiches. Subway used this to give their company the appearance of being a healthy fast food, which is a huge load of BS. Subway is about as close to healthy as Kim Kardashian's body is as close to a real person's. The other big lie was that Jared was a happy, wholesome person. In 2007 he was arrested by the FBI for child pornography. Turns out one of Jared's friends had been recording conversations with him for years. Conversations where Jared talked about how much he likes to sleep with underage boys and girls. When he was arrested, he had over 400 child porn videos in his home. And when everything was said and done, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison and has been the target for abuse ever since. Good. Oh yeah, we've got a big one for you, and it's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Ali, and the star of Pursuit of Happiness. This guy is known for having a beautiful, innocent, trust this guy kind of smile. I would never think of him as a criminal, unless you're counting all the movies he's done in the past 10 years. Even though Will Smith has done some great movies, he's also done a lot of stinkers. After Earth, Suicide Squad, Bright, those are some stinky movies, man. On top of these massive bombs, you should know that Will Smith was also arrested for assault. In 1989, him and a group of men beat a guy so badly he went blind. Will Smith was arrested but only spent 1 day in jail, and then the charges were dropped. Maybe the charges were dropped because he wasn't really involved in the attack. If you're really dying to know, I'm sure you can dig up the police report somewhere. I'm just here to tell you that this pretty boy has a dark past. And number 1 on our list is Robert Downey Jr. Probably one of the biggest stars today. We all know him, we all love him because he's the centerpiece of one of the biggest movie franchises in the world, and he used to be a wild man. Between the years of 1996 and 2001, Robert Downey Jr. was arrested several times for various crimes, like possession of a controlled substance, including weed, cocaine, and heroin, carrying a concealed weapon, use of controlled substances, driving under the influence. Basically, if you hung out with RDJ in the late 90s, you probably had a really good time, but don't remember any of it. He was sent to prison on more than 1 occasion, with his longest stint being 1 year with 2 years probation. However, now he's living free and clean, and I think all of us are very happy about this because now we have an epic series of movies that are so good when I get old, I'm gonna get my grandkids to sit down and watch them from start to finish. And I can picture my 90-year-old self crying as he says, "I am Iron Man." Alright everyone, that is our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you would like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Also, if you guys want more Most Amazing Top 10 content, come check us out on Instagram and Facebook because there's so much more stuff over there and it's a great time. Until next time, I've been Shade Arena and I'm gonna go commit some crimes.